Right, hey guys, Jack from Peach here. We're visiting Headstock Distribution today. We've spent some time with the Ibanez guitars and we've kind of moved into the Laney Heritage Room at the moment. And actually the reason we're here at this precise moment is to chat with Simon. We're going to kind of delve into some new pedals from Black Country Customs. So I guess you've had quite a heavy involvement with these, Simon. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the three pedals we got here?
The pedal project started when we released the 50th anniversary product a couple of years ago. The reaction that we had to the pedal that we made for Tony, the TI Boost, was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
that was a nice pedal, I remember.
Yeah, so we thought, well, what else can we do? And if you think about the amplifiers that the pedal was launched with, the LA100BL, it's a fairly uncomplicated, unsophisticated head. Now, if you think about all the things that that amp is lacking, it's lacking channel switching, it's lacking gain, it doesn't run a lot of gain, and it's lacking reverb. So that's really where we started to come out with an idea for a pedal range. Is the guy who has that amp, what other things would he like that amp to do? The BCC pedal range that's getting launched at NAMM consists of three models. A boost pedal, which is called the Steelpark, a distortion pedal, which is called the Monolith, and a reverb pedal, which is called the Secret Path. Okay,
that's really interesting. The fact that you designed them for a certain kind of application almost, yeah, with kind of vintage players maybe in mind.
The pedals are, whilst it is a boost pedal, whilst it is a distortion pedal, and whilst it is a reverb pedal, they have different modes of operation.
Okay.
So within the boost pedal, for example, you have a center toggle switch that allows you to select different characteristics of the pedal. So it's not just a boost pedal.
So is that kind of different types of clipping, or?
Yeah, it's really different. If you set in the center position, it functions as almost a clean boost. So there is no EQ change to your signal, it just gets boosted.
Right.
In position 1, what happens there is the fact that the upper mids are lifted within the pedal before the boost is added.
Okay.
So you're
driving that boost a little harder.
Yeah, you're driving the upper frequencies a little harder. You're not driving everything harder and then selecting the upper frequencies. You're doing it the other way around. So you're really you're accentuating the key areas that you want to boost before you boost it. In position 2, you have the opposite. You have a little bit of low mid boosted before the gain is added.
Okay.
It just gives you a little bit of flexibility.
The variety you need.
Yeah. And then the Monolith is a distortion pedal. It's something that you would use in conjunction with.
Sure. So and it complements whatever you're plugging it into.
Absolutely. So if you think about from a gain point of view, this does 0 to 50, this does 45 to 100.
Okay.
And how you can use them together in conjunction to get different effects.
And tonally, did you find, was there a particular kind of reference point that you were going after for this?
I'm a big distortion pedal fan.
Okay.
So I think from my point of view, again, in the same way that the boost pedal, the Steelpark, has 3 modes, so does the Monolith. You have, in the center position, it runs almost like a classic overdrive pedal.
Okay.
Then as you flick to D1, it becomes a much more compressed, saturated guitar sound. And then in position D2, it becomes a little bit more like a modern distortion pedal. It's a little more open, a little less compressed, a little more angular.
More amp-like, for lack of a better term.
Kind of, yeah. And then obviously you have a range of controls on there to facilitate things. So in the same way that the boost pedal can be used to hit the front of the amp harder, put the boost pedal in front of the distortion pedal, and the boost pedal can be used to compress the distortion pedal more. Conversely, put the distortion pedal before the boost pedal, and the boost pedal can be used to lift the gain lift the level of the distortion pedal. So where you place them on the boards has a kind of an intricate. It's an intricate part of how your sound comes out.
And did you purposefully kind of technically take any steps to have the two interact very well together?
I mean, it's always the case, if you buy both pedals at the same time, obviously, because they work really well with each other. And how you sit them on the board is really important. People don't necessarily experiment enough with the signal path.
So where does the reverb feather in there for you then?
When you play a note gives you information about pitch, nothing else. There are only 13 notes, they've all been played. Reverb gives you information about place, about where you are, and that's the important thing. It's not what you play, it's what happens next. Secret Path has 3 modes. It has a spring mode, it has a plate mode, and then it has a mode called the Secret Path.
Okay.
Now, this, again, so spring, traditionally a very bright, brashy, trashy sort of guitar sound. Think surf guitar, you know. Plate is a bit more of a studio type of reverb, which is a little smoother, it's a little brighter, tends to be a little bigger, a bit more refined. The Secret Path is a large ambient reverb, which when you hear it, you'll understand.
The kind you want to swim around in.
Yeah, kind of. The pedal is quite clever in the fact that each of the 3 modes has the ability to function in an enhanced mode. So if you press and hold the effect switch for 4 seconds, you'll see the LED flash. And at that point, you're in enhanced mode. So in spring and plate modes, the enhanced option, it gives you modulation on your output. Because everything sounds better with chorus.
A little bit of wobble, yeah.
There is an expression port on the side that you can log an expression pedal into and obviously control the amount of modulation that you have. So in regular mode, the expression pedal controls the mix between wet and dry, and in enhanced mode, the expression pedal controls the mix between modulation 0 and modulation 100%.
Okay.
Okay. In the Secret Path, the enhanced mode adds a dark, brooding, dynamic shimmer.
Excellent term.
It sounds immense.
Right, okay.
It changes the way you play. It's difficult to describe. It's very easy to hear. It's very easy to understand it when you hear it.
And just, you know, did you find a challenge at all where you mentioned before that you kind of voiced them with this kind of amplifier perhaps in mind?
Yeah.
So in terms of running it into the front end of a classic amp, how do you find that varies compared to, you know, most modern day reverb and modulation pedals have the effects loop in mind?
It's really down to kind of an internal headroom level from a pedal point of view. They function perfectly fine in the effects loop as well. They're designed obviously to sit in as a pedal platform, sit in an amp that's working as a pedal platform, but they'll quite happily sit in the effects loop as well. The reverb pedal is mono in, stereo out, so it will interface with other, you know, the Strams and that sort of thing of this world. It sits there quite nicely. But yeah, really from a tone point of view, because the amp, if it's being set as a pedal platform, the amp is usually set relatively clean.
Sure.
So where these sit isn't really...
They behave themselves anyway.
Yeah, it's not as if the amp's super distorted. Delayed distortion sounds completely different to distorted delay, and that's the thing. So if you're running your amp clean, whether you put the pedals in front or in the effects loop, it's down to you. If you're running your amp distorted, the general consensus is to put time-based effects into the effects loop,
sure,
on the front end. But hey, as I said before, the golden rule is that there is no golden rule. If it works for you, put them in the front end.
No, I like the ideology behind these pedals a lot. You know, these are kind of your take on the pedals that the guys wish they had 50 years ago at the time. It would have saved a lot of eardrums, and it seems as though you've put a lot of thought into kind of the multitude of ways they can interface with different rigs as well. So kind of whatever you guys are playing, there'll be a spot that these will work. So that's great.
Totally.
Lovely. Thanks very much for your insight into that, Simon. That was really in-depth and lovely. I'm looking forward to hearing these. We're going to get some sound clips for you guys, so you'll be able to check those out soon. So thanks for watching. Take care.